Hi there, it's Sunday morning and blissfully quiet in the neighborhood. We had a big work day on Thursday, and of course Eric did 95% of the work, and I supervised and filmed. But I want you to check that out and be sure and come back because I have a couple of viewer questions I'm going to answer. So stay tuned.
Nina, come here. Come here. Psst, psst.
Tomato plants in January? Check. These are all volunteers that have thrived with our warm winter this year. And this is the sunniest spot in the garden where this particular vine has taken off. We staked up the sprawling vine and removed leaves covered in spots. They still get powdery mildew, so I'm spraying weekly with neem oil spray in hopes of keeping it in check. Ideally, you should spray at dawn or sunset to avoid bees and possible burning of leaves in hot sun. But with a broken arm, I don't have that luxury. I need help from Eric. So we did this project first. This wild cherry tomato, one of a few boutingons that reseeded, was spreading out on the ground. So Eric installed a cage and cleaned it up and used clips to train it to grow up. This is my smaller parkway garden, where I have been systematically planting more perennials. Milkweed always reseeds here. This is another volunteer tomato, an indigo rose. I tidied it up. Then Eric staked up the longevity spinach, now 5 feet tall. Between the vigorous perennials Mexican sunflower on the left and the African blue basil on the right, the walkway is always closing in, and I have to prune them back. Here's my to-do list for today, written with my left hand.
Okay, take it out.
Pruning continued on the trapezoid raised bed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had to get in there and prune back the 2 orange Thai chili bushes. I took off most of the remaining leaves and took them down to about 4 feet. I didn't last long though, and Eric had to finish.
Here's mine.
Make contrast.
Elaine from Sunny Simple Life wrote me. She lives in Southern California, and she saw the last video where I was showing this green manure that I'm growing, and she said, "What do you do with the green manure?" In the past, I have sowed my raised beds with the legumes for green manure, and I have a couple of videos a year ago on that. which I'll put the link right above. Now that I have wood chips, I can't scatter legume seeds. So since I had all those empty cloth containers on the side, I would just very quickly sow some seeds in those and let it grow. And I'm going to do one of two things. I'm going to cut it and use it as mulch and put some in my compost for green manure. Then I'm also dividing them in half and putting chunks into certain areas in the raised beds and in the garden. And presumably that's going to spread, and the legume roots will nourish the soil in the raised bed. And of course the green tops you can use in your compost or just as mulch on your beds. So that's what I'm doing with that.
This Pequin pepper is turning out to be my strongest fighter against the dreaded disease that has inflicted my peppers.
And I have another question from Jennifer Parler, and she says, okay, just gotta ask and hope it isn't a stupid question. By the way, there's never a stupid question with gardening because everyone is learning at a different level. There are no stupid questions or stupid answers. You mentioned, kind of as an aside, that you don't have weeds. How do you not, all caps, have weeds? Well, first of all, I have a very compact little garden. Very manicured, very compact. When we first started it, I had the grass, quote unquote, weeds removed all the way down. Once I did that, I covered it in alfalfa. 2 or 3 layers of alfalfa that first year, thick, and it just beat down into this soil here. And now all of this, it's all compacted down. It's really just dirt, and it's very hard compacted in between the beds, and nothing ever pops up. Occasionally I have a weed here or there, but it's literally, we found 2 weeds on Thursday, you know, 2 little weeds. I'll show you. I left them there to show you. One was like a dandelion,
And you could actually eat that.
and one was just a grass weed. Now, one thing that does come up that I have to really be on top of is it looks like really big clover. The roots come out of a tuber, and boy does that spread. Once you start using 4, 6, 8 inches of wood chips, it suppresses weeds, really. In between the beds, it just gets all compacted down. And the other thing is, it doesn't rain here. Obviously, if it rained all the time, I would have a lot of weeds, but it doesn't. So we have a little bit of rain in the winter, and that's it. Without rain, and I'm not watering any of these areas where I'm walking, they just don't come out. And the rest of everything is covered in wood chips. It's kind of a long answer. So thank you so much for your support, and remember to give that thumbs up and watch till the end of the videos, and I'll see you in the next one.